I was having a conversation with some people the other day, and we started talking about long lost Roblox features. We often think about the people who have been forgotten in time, but what about the big updates and features that have been removed or simply left in the dust? There are a lot of fun and controversial things we don't remember from long ago and pretty recently, so let's revisit some of Roblox's most forgotten features. Let's start off with a recent one known as the Roblox Connect API, a feature announced at RDC 2023 that was once supposed to be a huge part of Roblox's future. Once touted as the future of immersive communication, the Roblox Connect API was supposed to let devs have Roblox's own version of FaceTime in their games. The demo showed that it'd call your phone like a normal call would, then place you in a little explorable game that utilized voice chat and facial animations. It was set to be this immersive way to call your friends and family, first in a Roblox made game, then in the future, any game by anyone that implemented the calling API. It'd be just you and whoever was on the other end in a game together with your avatar's face animations and emotes replacing the standard video call. Immediately upon its announcement though, people raised concerns about safety issues that could spawn from it, and Roblox quickly reacted by hiding replies about it. Along with it being perceived as a metaverse-era concept that was being delivered years late, the public reactions were very different from the thunderous applause at RDC. Its reputation didn't get any better when it released in November 2023 with a major flaw that let its calling notifications bypass the iOS Do Not Disturb and driving modes. For 2 days, you could call a Roblox friend who had an iPhone and it'd blow up their notifications regardless if they had it on silent or not, which caused a ton of problems. Roblox would temporarily disable the calling API before reopening it 4 days later with the proper patches, but it was too late, the damage had been done. It being perceived as a safety risk, it feeling like a metaverse-era concept, major bugs, and it just being a complicated way to call someone pretty much killed it upon release. The dev forum announcement post stopped getting regular replies after just over a week, and the official Connect game quickly fell off. These days, it averages around 50 to 100 concurrent users, but on an average playtime of like 2.5 minutes, signifying it's probably not being used for calling much at all. Roblox seems to have completely given up on Connect calling, and I'm fairly certain they never made it available for public use, despite all the big plans for it. Connect was supposed to be all over Roblox with people doing in-Roblox FaceTimes everywhere, but obviously that didn't even come close to happening. The most attention it has gotten since its release was it being randomly banned by Roblox for a day or two in June 2025. Long before avatar items were called accessories, they were called hats, and came with a pretty fun built-in feature called hat dropping. If you pressed the plus key, all your hats would suddenly fly off and fall to the ground, and then anyone without any on could pick one up to wear. You'd also be able to pick up your own hats and others, but only one at a time, so if you wanted all your hats on again, then you'd need to reset. Hat dropping was widely used across the platform, both intentionally and accidentally, which some people found annoying because maps would get littered with hats. A lot of people found it pretty useful though, because it allowed you to kinda test out hats or wear dream items without being in a game like Catalog Heaven. It was almost like a Stone Age version of Catalog Avatar Creator, except it was an option in almost every game and you couldn't choose what hats you found. I actually have some pretty fond memories from back in the day getting to wear stuff like a Dominus Aureus and seeing guests wear crazy stuff thanks to hat dropping. Live Ops, aka This Week on Roblox, was at one time seen as the single worst Roblox update ever, yet was completely forgotten less than a year after its release. Back in April of 2019, Roblox announced that a new feature called Live Ops would be completely replacing monthly and seasonal events. Developers would apply for their games to be promoted on Live Ops, a brand new alternate games page that promoted games hosting their own mini events or new updates. Roblox believed doing that would promote games better than including them in events would, so they decided to cancel 8 previously announced events and all future ones too. Obviously, this was not received well, since it meant all future events, including egg hunts, would be cancelled in favor of what was basically just another game's page. When Live Ops released as This Week on Roblox a couple months later, it was virtually dead upon release, with it only boosting featured games by a few hundred players. It was hard to find, so very few saw it, and it offered no avatar incentives, so those who did know of it had no reason to check it out. Players were instantly uninterested, and evidently, devs quickly would be too, because garbage games started being promoted, meaning hardly anyone applied to be featured. Live Ops quickly saw Roblox officially promote botted games, stolen games, scam games, and even at least one NSFW game due to good devs not submitting their games. Roblox would realize the extreme failure of Live Ops and completely shut it down after less than 6 months with plans to reopen it later, but that never happened. Despite being perhaps the biggest failure in Roblox's history, and one of the most negatively impactful since it resulted in a ton of events being canned, nobody remembers it. Live Ops was supposed to be one of the biggest platform-altering updates ever, but it was dead upon release and lasted a total of 181 days. If it had stuck around, it is very possible that we would have never seen any of the events or concerts that happened from 2020 to now. BC-only places was a long-standing feature that lasted from December 30th, 2010 to sometime in October 2017, yet it was largely forgotten about when it existed. BC-only places were simply Builders Club member-only games that couldn't be accessed by anyone without one of the 3 BC tiers. Any developer could set any game to BC only, which provided 10 ticks per visit instead of the standard 1, which was kinda like an early version of premium payouts. Despite it being a fairly simple concept, it was apparently extremely controversial when it came out, and I remember it being fairly disliked when it was around. The Roblox wiki states it was seen as segregation at its finest when it was released, and I remember seeing people mention how they were somehow unfair. I always thought the dismay towards them was weird because no BC-only games were necessary to play outside of Trade Hangout, and the rest of them were dead. The BC-only places tab was often barren because nobody cared or even realized it was there, with most games having less than 10 concurrent players. Outside of Trade Hangout and the odd complaint, BC-only places were largely forgotten about, which was indirectly acknowledged when its tab was taken off the game page in 2015. Shadletsky apparently said Roblox made no profit from them, which was really no surprise considering how few played them. BC-only places would be quietly removed in 2017, with some semblance of them still surviving with premium-only games made possible with scripts. Most of us are probably familiar with Menu Chat, Roblox's old version of Safe Chat that under 13 users and guests had to use if they wanted to communicate. For those who don't know, it was basically a set of messages that were the only chats under 13s and guests could send or see. Y'all probably remember or have heard of that by now, but how many of you remember the /SC version of Menu Chat? Despite Menu Chat being removed in 2014, it was still accessible using /SC chat commands, like saying /SC 74118 would say the Honest Politicians Menu Chat. The numbers coincided with each category and their subcategories, so 74118 directed from answers to animals to mythical beasts and to honest politicians. /SC96 would say 1337, /SC14 would just be a smiley face, and so on, allowing people to still access menu chat and possibly communicate with guests until its removal in 2016. And that'll do it for this episode of Forgotten Roblox Features, and I say episode because I'll definitely do another one of these. Yes, next time I'll talk about player points, but I can't be the only one who thinks it's the most remembered forgotten feature, right? I'll include it, but I'm looking for stuff a bit more obscure than that, or ticks, which most people seem to know about at this point. I honestly really enjoy making these history type vids, and I know there's still a ton of other forgotten updates and features we can go over. So comment below what stuff from Roblox's past you want to see next time. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below.